Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so have you ever actually stopped to wonder where the global economy truly begins? Today, we're jumping right into some seriously fascinating insights from a brilliant thinker, Oluyomi Ola David. We're breaking down a piece she wrote called The Household Economy is Good Business. And what I absolutely love about her perspective is how it literally flips the script on how we view economics. She makes this incredibly compelling case that the true engine of the global economy doesn't start in some fancy boardroom or on a loud trading floor, it actually starts right in your living room. Let's get right into it.
So when I ask you where global development truly begins, what instantly comes to your mind? If you're like most of us, your brain probably jumps straight to Wall Street, right? Or maybe you picture massive multinational corporations, sweeping international trade agreements, or huge industrial complexes. We've all been conditioned to think that development happens strictly from the top down. But what if we've been looking through the wrong end of the telescope this entire time? What if the real foundation of all that global prosperity lies somewhere much, much closer to home?
Okay, let's dive into this. Oluyomi Ola David states it plainly. She says the household economy is the cradle of development in all human societies. Just think about that word for a second, cradle. It's where everything is nurtured, right? Where everything originates and grows. She is positing this core thesis that the domestic sphere, the daily, ordinary, everyday workings of a family home, is actually the ultimate starting point for all societal progress. It's the absolute bedrock. To really grasp her point, we need to look at how these ideas scale up from the micro to the macro. She brilliantly frames the household not just as a place where people sleep and eat, but as a critical, high-functioning economic engine. Every single decision made under a roof, whether it's how a family allocates its grocery budget, how they invest in a child's education, or even how they divide up the household chores, it creates a massive ripple effect. It's a continuous journey from the micro level of an individual family unit all the way up to the macro level of global trade. The household is essentially the first domino in a very long, very complex economic chain. Let's move to this next concept and see exactly how this builds. We can see it across three distinct steps. Step 1 is the household economy. Step 2 is the macroeconomy of a nation. And step 3 is the global economy. Oluyomi Ola David makes a rock-solid argument here. Whatever goes amiss or whatever goes right at the household level inevitably travels right up this ladder. If households are stable, the macroeconomy feels that stability. If households are struggling, well, that friction extends all the way up to the global economy. You simply cannot separate the three. They are totally interlinked. A massive part of this whole equation is what she defines as the care economy. Now, this refers to the fundamental mechanisms and the human agents within the household that drive daily life, well-being, and sustainable development. Raising kids, managing resources, supporting aging family members. This unpaid labor accounts for a staggering amount of hidden value globally. It acts as the invisible glue holding society together. And she points out a really positive trend here. Local and global governance institutions are finally starting to wake up and recognize the fundamental role that this care economy plays in our world.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark choice it presents to us. On the left side, we see the consequences of inequities. She gives a very clear warning here. When there is inequity at the household level, it breeds chaos, it sparks conflict, and it completely stifles socioeconomic progress. But look at the right side, the other path. When we foster equality of opportunity, it actively drives sustainable development and pushes institutions to advance family-friendly policies. It's a very clear fork in the road for a global future.
Because she sees the stakes so clearly, she doesn't just stop at pointing out the problem. She shifts gears into a direct mandate for change. She's an author deeply concerned with global transformation, and she wants to generate actual, real-world solutions. This isn't just some academic diagnosis for her, it is a serious call to action. She is telling us exactly how we need to fix the vulnerabilities in our economic chain. So who exactly is she calling upon to make this happen? Well, she lists 4 specific groups. Number 1, households themselves. 2, corporates. 3, governments. And 4, global institutions. Her firm stance is that every single one of these entities and their agents absolutely must prioritize the vulnerable in their day-to-day considerations. It can't just be an afterthought. Whether you are a parent making a budget, a CEO setting corporate policy, or a world leader drafting legislation, protecting the vulnerable at the household level has to be front and center. And why must they do this? Well, here is the ultimate goal: to seek improvements in the quality of life for all. Writing from her perspective as a Nigerian who passionately wants to see genuine global transformation, her roots deeply inform these solutions. She envisions a world where economic policies aren't just about chasing GDP growth on a spreadsheet, but about whether the actual, lived experience of everyday families is improving. That is the true metric of success for her.
So, the crucial point is captured perfectly in her core realization: the household economy is good business. It is just a brilliant distillation of her entire argument. Improving family-friendly policies, supporting the care economy, creating equal opportunity in domestic life. These aren't just nice, charitable ideas, they are economically essential. They are actively profitable for society. If you want a thriving global marketplace, you must first invest in a thriving household. It's really just good business.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. How is your household shaping the global economy today? After exploring her insights, I really hope you realize that you aren't just a bystander to global development. Your daily domestic choices, the way you manage your own care economy, the equality you foster under your own roof, it all ripples outward. It's been absolutely fantastic guiding you through this material today. Take a moment to think about your own household's ripple effect, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.